Today, we're going to dive into the 5 SUVs you definitely want to avoid in 2025. Trust me, if you value your time, money, and sanity, these are the rides you do not want. Now, if you're thinking, but wait, isn't the Explorer a solid SUV with a history of reliability? Well, kinda. Consumer Reports slapped the Ford Explorer with a predicted reliability score of 1 out of 5. That's like getting a participation trophy in a race where you're the only one running. Why such a low score? Let's just say this SUV has its share of issues. From malfunctioning electronics to transmission problems that seem to show up right when you least need them, like, say, merging onto a highway, this thing's got quirks. And no, not the fun, lovable quirks. No, we're talking quirks that can drain your wallet faster than you can say, extended warranty. And let's not forget the infamous body hardware failures. You're loading up the Explorer for a weekend getaway, then your door handle just decides to retire early. It's not just inconvenient, it's downright frustrating. But wait, you say, the Explorer has some serious power under the hood, right? Yep, Ford's got that covered. The base 2.3-liter turbocharged engine cranks out a respectable 300 horsepower, and if you really want to get wild, there is a 400 horsepower V6 available. But there's a catch: fuel efficiency. It's like the Explorer is still living in 2010. So while the Ford Explorer has the muscle, it's also got enough baggage to make you question whether it's worth the headache. If you're considering picking up a Chevy Bolt, especially one from the 2020 to 2023 era, you might want to hit the brakes fast. Back in 2021, GM had a bit of a battery issue. Actually, scratch that. They had a huge battery issue. Nearly every Chevy Bolt made since 2017 had to be recalled. Why? Well, the battery pack, sourced from LG Energy Solution, had a teeny tiny problem. It could catch on fire. I'm talking full-on flaming bolt action here. All because of defects like a torn anode tab or a folded separator. Sure, only about a dozen bolts actually went up in flames out of hundreds of thousands, but do you want to be that one in a dozen? GM advised Bolt owners to not fully charge their cars and to park them outside just in case. Yikes! If that doesn't scream reliability issues, I don't know what does. Oh, and let's not forget the production halt that came with it. Yeah, they literally stopped making bolts for a while. Now, to be fair, Chevy's throwing some new battery packs at owners like candy at a parade, but that doesn't erase the fact that this issue happened. So if you're considering a used 2022 Chevy Bolt EUV, make sure that recall is handled. Otherwise, you might end up with more firepower than you bargained for. And while the 2023 model's been trying to shake off that fiery reputation, it's still dealing with electrical issues, random dashboard blackouts, and a backup camera that, well, doesn't back you up when it should. Not to mention that forward collision avoidance system that could slam the brakes when you least expect it. So yeah, the Bolt, not exactly the electric revolution we were hoping for. Infiniti's been playing this weird game of what do we want to be when we grow up for a while now. Are they luxury? Are they sporty? Are they just confused? With the QX80, they're supposed to be going full luxury, right? I mean, that's the idea behind a full-size luxury SUV. But the reality? Well, the reality is a bit of a mess. Sure, the 2025 QX80 looks better than the old one, like way better. It's got some shiny new sheet metal, a redesigned interior, and it definitely has that imposing presence when you see it rolling down the street. But the moment you get behind the wheel, things start to feel off. You'd think a luxury SUV would glide over bumps like a cloud. Instead, the QX80 handles like it's trying to remind you of every little crack in the pavement. It's got a stiff ride that makes you wonder if Infiniti missed the memo about what luxury actually means. Look, if you're buying a giant SUV, chances are you're not trying to relive your go-kart days. You want smooth. You want comfort. You want to feel like you're cruising on a magic carpet, not bouncing down a cobblestone road. And then there's the price tag. We're talking over $80,000 to start. And if you want the top trim, it'll set you back more than $110,000. Now, for that kind of money, you'd expect all the bells and whistles, right? Wrong. Infiniti's decided that some of those features should be extra. Yeah, because nothing says luxury experience quite like paying more for things that should already be included. It's like going to a fancy restaurant, ordering the steak, and then finding out you have to pay extra for the plate. Not cool, Infiniti, not cool. Under the hood, you've got a new twin-turbo V6. Sounds promising, right? It doesn't really save you much gas compared to the old model. So you're still stuck with mediocre fuel economy, and it's not even that much fun to drive. The whole package feels like a missed opportunity. Car and Driver ranked the QX80 8th out of 10 in their luxury SUV list for 2025, and Motor Trend put last year's model dead last. Ouch! So, back in 2019, the XT4 rolled onto the scene like it was the new hotness. 32,000 sales in its first year. But like your favorite pair of sneakers, it wore out its charm pretty quick. And if you're thinking, hey, it's a Cadillac, how bad can it be? Well, let's just say, the inside isn't exactly giving you the luxury you'd expect. Cheap materials, a ride bumpier than a trip down a dirt road, it's not exactly the smooth Cadillac experience you were dreaming of. And that engine, it's GM's 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which sounds powerful until it starts acting up. We're talking brake booster failure, erratic shifting, all the fun stuff you don't want in your daily driver. Sure, you can snag a used one for around 28 grand, but here's the kicker. Over 10 years, you might drop a cool $12,000 just on repairs. And there's a 37% chance of a major repair. Yeah, you heard me right, 37%. So before you get roped in by the Cadillac badge, maybe ask yourself if you really want to roll those dice. Now, don't get me wrong, this thing was a game changer when it first hit the streets. Falcon doors that screamed, "I'm straight out of Star Wars." And yeah, that 0 to 60 time, lightning fast. It was the kind of car that made you feel like a tech billionaire, even if the only thing that you were actually rich in was student loans. But here's the deal, just like that one-hit wonder band you loved in high school, the Model X kinda peaked hard. So why should you be giving the Model X the side eye in 2025? Let's break it down. First off, when Car and Driver ranked full-size 3-row electric SUVs, the Model X came in dead last, 6th out of 6. And it didn't get much love from Consumer Reports either, finishing 3rd out of 4 for 3-row EVs. Oh, and if you're hoping the build quality makes up for that, let me just say, no. Tesla's reliability has been compared to a DIY project gone wrong. And let's not forget Tesla's infamous self-driving system. Yeah, it's cool when it works, but there's been a recall. Over 360,000 Teslas recalled due to full self-driving issues. No biggie, right? Just your car not knowing how to handle intersections or stop-and-go traffic. Totally fine. Bottom line, in 2025, there are way better full-size EVs out there that won't make you feel like you bought a sci-fi gimmick with the reliability of a paperclip. The Model X had its day, but it might be time to let it ride off into the sunset. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's a Jeep. It's practically indestructible. But here's the deal, the Wrangler has a bit of a explosive personality. No, seriously, we're talking about the exploding clutch plate recall. Yup, that's not the kind of off-road excitement anyone's looking for. Excessive interior noise, leaky removable tops, jittery handling, and difficult ingress-egress have earned the Wrangler a not-so-great predicted reliability score of just 2 out of 5. Between 2018 and 2023, Jeep Wranglers and Gladiators came equipped with a manual transmission that, let's just say, had a bit of a temper. The clutch plate gets too hot, and instead of just being a little grumpy, it decides to shatter. And not in a, oh, let's sweep that up kind of way. Nope, it's got enough force to crack the transmission case. Yeah, the thing that makes your car actually, drive. So, what's the fix? Well, you'd better hope your local Jeep dealership has your back, because that's a full transmission replacement we're talking about. This recall, it affected over 70,000 vehicles. And if that's not enough, let's talk customer service. Now, I don't want to point fingers, but Jeep isn't exactly winning awards in this department. Imagine buying your dream Wrangler, only to have Jeep tell you that the clutch problem is your fault. Yep, blame it on improper shifting. I've seen this firsthand. It's a whole battle just to get them to admit it's an issue. Eventually they come around, but it's not without a fight. And hey, don't think you're off the hook if you're driving an automatic. Jeep also recalled over 70,000 Wrangler 4XEs for battery issues. And get this, engines that can just shut off while driving. Safety hazard? You bet. Injuries? Unfortunately, yes. Jeep isn't exactly batting 1,000 lately, and with 38 recalls in 2022 alone, it's safe to say they've got some work to do. But hey, what do you guys think? Am I being too harsh? Or are these cars really as underwhelming as it seems? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed roasting this SUV as much as I did, don't forget to like, Subscribe and ring that bell. We've got more hot takes on the way.